Welcome back. This is ADWCTA.
This is Merps. We are talking about Shaman. All right. Everyone's
Woo!
a fishy hero.
This is Forged in the Barrens card preview stream. Grinning Goat Lightforge podcast. Feel like I'm
All right.
starting the like a pop song or something.
Let's talk about the best cards that Shaman's got. They got two A tier cards.
What? Two A tier cards?
A tier cards. Except Shamans typically get some pretty good cards.
That's
That
true.
if we're tracking
That's true.
kind of
Shamans and
the
warriors.
yeah, they get some pretty decent cards. The first A tier card is Chain Lightning. This is their rank card. Chain Lightning is a 2-mana nature spell. Deal 2 damage to a minion and a random adjacent one. So a lot of times you can control it. So for 2 mana, you're dealing like a mini consecration. On rank 2, you're dealing 3 damage to a minion and a random adjacent one. And on rank 3, you're doing 4 damage to a minion and a random adjacent one. That's a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
It's split in a way that is very good. Just
Like,
a super meta efficient spell.
you can just tell this is ridiculously good because the normal rank cards start off with a 2 mana thing that you don't really want. Like one's like gives you a raptor, another one is like an arcane explosion. Like they're okay, they're like cards, but they're usually like around Yeti level in terms of how good they are. This one starts out with a better cleave, which is just like way better than a Yeti, and then they build the same way. Um, so so yeah, I mean this is good. This is really good. It's A tier, easy A tier.
Okay. Next, we have Earth Revenant. All right. Uh, Earth Revenant is a 4 mana 2/6 elemental with taunt. So it's a 2/6 with taunt already. Battlecry, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions.
Yeah, you know how good what do you call it? Inferno is the Warlock guy. 6 mana 6/6 that deals 1 damage to everything. That's pretty good. It's not quite A tier, but this one only hurts enemy minions. And it's also not like missing a stat. Well, okay, it is missing a stat, but it has taunt. So you're just improving. Like everything's being power creeped.
Yep. Really good. And once again, when we talk about these things, there's differences in evaluations based on what the class is trying to do, what they can already do, and what does this add.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just quite good for shamans. I'm not saying that they don't have like AoEs or anything, but like everything from the elemental tag, right, to the stat line, to how it is a taunt, it can protect things, like all these
Now, yeah,
together.
shamans can't ping, and this pings.
Yeah, this pings as well, quite good. Okay, we're gonna go to the B tier minions for shamans. First is Spawn Pool Forager. Spawn Pool Forager is a 1 mana 1/2 Murloc. It's kind of cute. That's the thing. Uh, Death Rattle summon a 1/1 Tiny Fin. So it's a 1 mana 1/2, and it summons a 1/1. It's like a Mecharoo with one more stat. It's nice. It's a solid B tier. It's a Murloc that also spawns another
Another
Murloc.
Murloc.
And that's really good. With Shamans, you want to establish yourself on the board. You're definitely getting more stats than you should be getting. And that's why it's a B. Okay. After that, we have Arid Stormer. Arid Stormer is also a B. 3 mana 2/5 elemental. You're already kind of getting the stats that you want. Battle Cry. If you played an elemental last turn, gain Rush and Wind Fury.
What?
It's real good. Um, the thing about elementals is there's a decent amount of elementals. Like you'll see just in Forge and the Barrens, they definitely try to push this elemental synergy a little bit more, and that's really good. Well, if we're talking about stuff with upside, how easy is it to trigger the upside? Well, they made it easier, and this also has the elemental tag, so you can like chain it, right? Like this continues the elemental chain, and Rush and Wind Fury is pretty freaking good. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a Um, Last for the B tier, we have Brukan, which is a 4 mana 5/4 nature spell damage +3. So it's not a overall spell damage +3. It's only nature spell damage +3. However, that's a lot of spell damage.
Yeah, if you're a shaman and you're doing damage, it's going to be a nature spell. So it might as well say spell damage +3. But yeah, it's a lot of spell damage, but you got to combo it. It's only got 4 health.
Mm-hmm. Let's move on to the 2C plus tier cards. First, we have Lily Pad Lurker. Lily Pad Lurker is a 5 mana 4/5 elemental understated. Yikes! What are we doing here?
that hasn't happened yet.
I know. Battle Cry. If you played an elemental last turn, transform an enemy minion into a 0/1 frog with taunt. That's Hex. That is Hex. So it's Hex on a stick. You have to play an elemental last turn. But remember, these kind of synergies are really good if you were just drafting them anyways. Are you going to draft Arid Stormer? Yeah. Like even if there were no synergies, it's a perfectly acceptable card because it's a 3 mana 2/5. You're going to be drafting the Revenant regardless. So this Lily Pad Lurker is quite good. Now, it is significantly understated, and you're not always going to be able to get it off. It's going to feel bad because you're going to play it sometimes. Like, there's a reason it is a C+ and not higher. But when it hits, oh my gosh, game-winningly good.
Yep. Because when it doesn't hit, it's a 5 mana 4/5, which is terrible considering the quality of all the other cards. So this is really kind of it's not even the average. It's just kind of the recognition that you can't play this without another elemental. That really makes it very conditional.
Yep. And yes, if you're wondering, the frog is the exact same frog from Hex. They didn't change the frog, so it is the exact same.
It is the same.
It is the exact same frog. Okay. On to the next one, also C+. Oh, we have my boy. It's Firemancer Flurgle. 2 mana 2/3 Murloc. So, on curve, it's fine. After you play a Murloc, deal 1 damage to all enemies.
Whoa.
Now, yeah, whoa, even to the face. All right, Flurgle goes face. Are you going to play a lot of Murlocs? Probably not. Are you even going to play 1 Murloc? I don't know. It's not super duper high. We have the Forager, and you'll see we have other Murlocs as well in the neutral set and here. You're not going to draft a lot of them because Murloc synergy isn't amazing. They're pretty small. How many are you going to have? But it's a C+ because when you hit it, and you really only have to hit it once, it's really good. And the possibility of you being the toxic Murloc, like like constant AoE player, it's there. So C+. Okay. Speaking of Murlocs, we're moving to D+ tier.
D+.
Oh, sorry.
South Coast Chieftain.
No, we're moving to C. Sorry. We're moving to C.
So okay.
C. I almost forgot the last C card. This is South Coast Chieftain.
South Coast Chieftain is a 2 mana 3/2 Murloc. Battle Cry. If you control another Murloc, deal 2 damage. Look at all these Murlocs chaining together so nicely. You may have another Murloc, but you probably won't, especially if you play it on curve. So, Flurgle is a legendary. Your Spawn Pool Forager is really your Murloc that you are probably going to potentially get. You're getting that other Murloc in this set, though. I think it was in Rise of Shadows. Yeah, Underbelly Angler is coming back. That's the 2 mana 2/3. After you play a Murloc, add a random Murloc to your hand. So the Murloc chaining is potentially real. Sludge Slurper is back. You're gonna want Sludge Slurper because it's the one that gives you a lackey. You got some potential in this meta. Now, there's also a lot of cards in this meta as well. I don't know how frequently you're going to be able to put it together. A lot of it's going to be determined by like literally Blizzard and how much they offer these Murlocs to you, because we don't know any of the offering rates. But if Blizzard wants to, they can make this a very Murloc-y meta, in which case we will raise the score of this guy. But if you're just going by normal offering odds, you're gonna have like 2-3 Murlocs in your deck.
Yeah.
One of them being the South Coast Chieftain, and it's just gonna be hard to actually get this 2 damage to trigger.
Yep. Okay. Next, we have a D+ card. Ooh, D+. No Fin can stop us. Haha. 3 mana. Give your minions +1/+1. Give your Murlocs an extra +1/+1. This is fine. It's not purely Murloc dependent. It's just an overcosted Power of the Wild that also can't turn into a 3/2. So you're paying a lot for this. And once again, you don't have the crazy Murlocs that you are potentially dreaming of. But it's very usable. And it's never completely dead, as in like I don't have Murlocs, therefore I can't use this thing.
You have totems.
It's just overcosted. Yeah, it's just overcosted. That's it. Okay. And finally, we have a solid D card. The first, legitimately just bad Caravan. We have Tiny Fin's Caravan. 2 mana, 1/3. At the start of your turn, draw a Murloc.
Ooh, that's what you want. Your Murlocs.
Your Murlocs. Now, which also, because it's a Caravan, this is not a Murloc.
Yes.
Like, it's just a Caravan for the Murlocs. Some of you guys might even be wondering, wait, why isn't it lower? It's not lower because, once again, you do have some Murlocs.
And it's a 2 mana 1/3. It has a body.
It has a body. It could draw a card. It's a D. It's not an F. It's got that potential. And look, the ability to potentially draw any card with a body that, it's there. That's a D. Yeah. Like, if you say it's a low D, I would agree with you. But that's where we're at. Okay. That's Shaman.
All right. But like, try to get your Murlocs where your Elementals going. This set is clearly going in 2 directions: Murlocs or Elementals. Pick a side, go for it. I think you can get Murlocs going in this upcoming set. I think you can do it. I think if you focus on it and you your first 5 or 6 picks lean a little bit Murloc, you can do it and you'll succeed some decent percentage of times. And when you don't succeed, it's not like these Murlocs are bad cards. They're just like okay cards still. You haven't screwed over your total run. And if you do get it going, it could potentially get you, a very nicely synergized thing. So they definitely put in the sets that are needed for Murlocs to become a thing. But it's always hard to make Murlocs a thing.
If you're trying to force Murloc Shaman, I would say it's not as much of a throw as it would have been in other metas. You're gonna be on average kind of drafting suboptimally. Like the numbers just don't favor you. You have to get lucky, right? But if you try it, you're certainly going to succeed a lot more than in other metas, because Blizzard has given it a decent amount of support. Now, the one thing going against you is that, along with the support, that just the bar for decks has gotten higher. So you need to not just like hit 1 or 2, right? It's not like in previous quote dragon metas, you just had to have a couple dragon synergies and you're just like, oh man, this is so worth it. That's just because of how like independently powerful dragons were. A lot of these Murloc synergies, if they don't have any synergies, they actually just kind of suck, as in they're vanilla, and vanilla doesn't do the job anymore. So you really want like this nice flowing Murloc synergy. That's not easy to get. So you got to like hit harder for the Murloc synergies in order for you to make it worth it.
All right. That's it for Shaman. We will see you in the next video. It's going to be Warlock.
Yay.
All right.
Okay, we save.
$13, right?
The one we finish is 13.
Yes, and then we're gonna go to 14.
We are about to record 14.
All right. I am going to fall asleep if I do not, because I went to bed at 4 a.m. last night. I've been doing a lot of like work. So, I'm gonna read and just do like the stuff for the Warlock one.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna read it. You could queue up the card, but I'm gonna click the card and then I'll read the card out loud. You know, like to start things. Whereas you've been doing it before. I just need to like say more stuff.
Sure.
Oh no. No. This Audacity. Restart it again.
Wouldn't it be more exciting to start with the worst and end with the best? Ashoka, when have we ever been about excitement? I don't know. Like, does it really matter which way we go, I guess? No. Kind of doesn't. Here's the way I want to think of it. It's easier for you to kind of envision how the meta is going if you are looking at the cards that matter the most. And we're able to have I think, a better discussion if we're just pointing out the actual relevant cards more so than the stuff that doesn't matter, right? Like, if it doesn't matter, then whatever. Like, let's just get to the actual meta, like the meta impacting cards. But yes.
The Audacity forgot where my folder is. Now I have to go navigate my whole thing to find the folder. Like, what is this?
All right, chat. I'm going to ask you a question. If you've been here the entire time, type me smiley face, okay? Who's been here the entire time? No lying, okay? You legally cannot lie on Twitch.
That is true.
You legally are not allowed to lie.
I hope nobody's lied on Twitch before. They won't come and get you tonight. But
don't be the first to lie on Twitch, okay? Me? All right. I have seen a lot of you guys around, okay? This also means no bathroom breaks from you guys. We're allowed to take it. You guys aren't, okay? This is me. Okay, Stein, you definitely weren't here the entire time. You definitely can't. Oh my God, Stein.
All right, okay. I'm ready.
Whew, I have a pee bottle for this. Excellent. See, Kolst, he's a professional. Okay, this is why he's a streamer. This is why he's a streamer. This is why he still plays the arena. Okay, the secret to his success is a pee bottle. And guys, it's actually been the exact same pee bottle for years. He hasn't changed it.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
I think I'm good. Okay. 3, 2.
No. Faster.
3, 2, 1. We are back. This is Warlock, Forged in the Barrens, Grinning Go, Light Forge podcast. Been doing this now for 7 hours. Wait. This is ADWCTA.
Doing this for a while. This is Merps. Okay, we're going to be talking about Warlocks. Did Warlocks get good cards?
Warlocks did get good cards. Warlocks, in fact, got a really good card. And it is Soul Rend. And Soul Rend is a 4-mana spell, shadow spell, that says deal 5 damage to all minions. Destroy a card in your deck for each killed. But focus on the deal 5 damage to all minions part, which sounds like it should cost more than 4 mana.
It sure sounds like it, doesn't it?
Because don't 4 mana usually deal 3 damage to all minions?
Yeah, and it also hit your face previously. It also hit the opponent's face, but really you care about your face more often.
So they just upped it by 2 damage and improved other parts of the card.
Yes. Now, you destroy a card in your deck for each killed, which really means absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Remember Keening Banshee, all of this stuff. It doesn't matter unless you actually, number one, go to fatigue, and two, needed whatever cards. Like, it wasn't enough. Like, there are even times in which you go to fatigue, but it didn't matter because you had the cards to win anyways. So, in 99% of times, it won't matter. It is just a 4 mana, 5 damage to all minions. Super duper good. We can see how this is a solid A tier card.
Yeah, solid A tier. This is it's silly. If Warlocks didn't have all these board clears already, this would be like A plus. But Warlock has a lot of board clears.
Yeah. So if you're asking, wait, why is Flame Strike better? It's like you guys rate Flame Strike as a A plus card. Why is Soul Rend, which is much cheaper? And you guys said the cards don't matter, right? Like the discarded cards don't matter. So why is this lower? It's just class by class. Warlocks have always had this annoying problem. It's like it's an abundance of riches. They're able to remove. They have too much removal spells, and a lot of times you actually have to pick against removals because you're like, I can't just have removals on hand. I just end up losing that way. It's been true for so many metas for Warlocks.
Yeah. So you have these like ridiculous ones, and here they got rid of stuff like Shadow Flame, whatever. But as you'll see, this isn't even the only double-sided board clear in this set, like for Warlock, and they're getting back their potions too from Mean Streets of Gadgetzan as well as Abyssal Enforcer. So Warlocks are going to be very, very blow everything uppy in this coming arena meta. All right, next up.
Yes.
Yep, blow everything uppy. Next up is a B plus card. Still super good, but not quite as good. It is Imp Swarm. Imp Swarm is summon a 3/2 Imp for 2 mana. It's a fel spell, but it's a ranked spell, so that's only rank 1. If you're playing this on turn 5, it summons 2 3/2s. If you're playing this on turn 10 or more, you are summoning 3 3/2s. So just a pretty good way to get extra value out of a normal Raptor-like card.
Yep. This is also one of those where if you look at it and you're like, well, it's like, I don't get why it's a B plus. You're not getting that much. It's, once again, class specific, right? This is exactly what you need as Warlock to actually do well. You need your proactive plays. You need minions that you want to put out. Something that you can play early that scales into the mid game and late game that summons demons, multiple demons. It's just really good for what Warlock wants specifically. So in other classes, something like this might not be as high or whatever, but it's exactly what Warlock needs.
Yeah. So some of these other ranked cards, you wouldn't play them on turn 2. You know, like it's an Arcane Explosion for Priest. You could play it on turn 2, but things have to really line up. For Warlocks, you play this on turn 2. You don't have to keep holding it. Like, you're not going to hero power on turn 2. You're going to play this card. This is a very good option to play on turn 2. It is like literally on curve. So it's getting some points for just like being what it needs to be. Next up is the Cabal Outfitter. We are now in a B tier, no longer B+. Cabal Outfitter is a 3 mana 3/3, Battle Cry and Death Rattle. Give another random friendly minion +1/+1. So it starts off having 1 more health than a Shattered Sun Cleric. Then upon its death, it will also give another random friendly minion +1/+1. If
it's random, but you sometimes don't get to control.
Oh, okay, fair.
Sometimes. But yeah, look, we talk about how 3 mana 3/3s aren't great, but this gives you a lot of stats. Yeah, you need another minion on the board, but that's fine. And it's somewhat controllable, like a decent amount of times controllable. So pretty decent. Yeah. It's a
not particularly tricky or anything. Now we're on to C pluses. This is better than a Yeti. First, we have Grimoire of Sacrifice. It is your other board clear. 1 mana, destroy a friendly minion. Deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. It's good, but you do have to destroy one of your own minions. The cost ratio is obviously very good. You're doing something that should cost 4 mana, and is a very good card at 4 mana, and it's only costing you 1 mana to do it. But it's a bit conditional. You do have to have something on the board. If you want to consecrate your opponent's board, chances are they're not leaving you with anything on the board, so then you have to play something, and it gets like a little messy.
Yep.
That's why it's not like even higher.
C+. Okay.
Next up is Barrens Scavenger. Barrens Scavenger is a 6 mana 6/6 taunt, which is okay. That would be normally a C, not a C+. What makes it C+ is that it costs 1 while your deck has 10 or fewer cards. Also, just the taunt works a little better in the Warlock. So it's getting a few things that's like edging it up. You're going to have 10 or fewer cards sometimes, especially as Warlock. Like other classes, it may happen a little less often, but your hero power is drawing cards. So you could get there. And you could get there with quite a significant number of cards in your hand too. And if you do, this one's super cheap.
Yep. Taunt is just good, like for Warlocks. So it's understated, but it kind of doesn't matter as much. Like just having a taunt is good. And I think the effect is going to trigger slightly more often than some people think it's going to, because I think some people might say it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, 10 cards is a lot, right? Like
10 cards,
you don't have to worry about milling like 4 cards out of your deck, but 10? Like imagine if you had to mill 10 cards out of your deck. You'd worry.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we are on to D plus T. Oh, sorry, no. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh no! We have Bloodshard.
Yes, we have Bloodshard Bristleback. We are on to the C tier. Bloodshard Bristleback is C tier. It is a 3 mana 3/3 lifesteal. Battlecry. If your deck contains 10 or fewer cards, deal 6 damage to a minion. Same deal. 3 mana 3/3 is pretty bad. We've gone over this. It would be like barely a D tier. Lifesteal makes it a bit better, but you know, lifesteal on a 3 mana 3/3 is still not great. And then it edges up a little bit because of this 10 or fewer cards deal. Dealing 6 damage to a minion for a 3 mana card is pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty good. But there's like a huge gap there, right? Where if you're looking at it, it's like, oh well, it's good in the late game. Like how long are you going to hold this for? And if you perfectly draw it, sure, but it's really due to how bad 3 mana 3/3s are.
Yeah, like you compare this to that 6 mana 6/6 taunt. You can legit hold that. You can't even play it until turn 6, and then you can hold it and wait for a time to do whatever. A 3 mana 3/3 is just going to get thrown out there at some point.
Yep.
Now we are on to D+. D+, starting with the below Yeti cards. This is a bad card. Not terrible, but bad. D+. Apothecary's Caravan. 2 mana 1/3. Seems okay so far. At the start of your turn, summon a 1-cost minion from your deck. You're a Warlock. You're going to have some 1-cost minions. It's not that you're going to have none of it, but you're going to miss out on battle cries. It could be dead already. It doesn't have a lot of potential to actually chain because you only have so many 1-cost minions in your deck. And remember, you're like mulliganing pretty hard for them. And then if you play this like later on, it could potentially do nothing. And 1/3 is just, you know, like it's a thing, but if it was just a 1/3, it would be below a D tier. It would be like an F+ tier. If it was 2 mana 1/3. Maybe.
Yep.
It may even be just straight up F. So it's gaining quite a lot for this ability, actually. But a lot of limits, and there's just no way to make it like an insane thing. This is not like that Paladin Caravan that gives you 2/1/1s guaranteed.
Agreed.
Next up, we have the two legendaries. Spoiler: both of these are D, so they're both not good. First one is Tamsin Rome. It is a 3 mana 1/3. Whenever you cast a shadow spell that costs 1 mana or more, add a copy to your hand that costs 0 mana. So you're like duplicating your shadow spells that you cast, but it's a 3 mana 1/3. So it's like this combo card that requires a lot of shadow spells. And you can't trigger it off its own self because the one you put into your hand costs 0. And it needs to cost 1 for you to like actually trigger this. It's just a lot of ifs. And if you don't trigger it, it's terrible.
Go on.
Other legendary, 5 mana 5/5. Hey, that seems good. Battle Cry. If your deck is empty, open a portal that fills your board with 3/2 imps each turn. Okay, your deck is not going to be empty, so it's just a 5 mana 5/5. And the 5 mana 5/5 is a D.
Go on.
Finally, we have Altar of Fire, the last card, and it is a solid F because for 1 mana, it mills the top 3 cards off each deck. And you don't do that in the arena.
Yeah. So, like I said before, there's F tier and there's like sub F. We don't differentiate, but you can imagine where this would be approximately. There you go.
Yeah. That's it for Warlock. I thought we went over it pretty efficiently. It's trying to do mill stuff, which is kind of getting in the way of what Arena's doing, but it does have powerful board clears, and the cards that are coming back are even more powerful board clears. So it just has a whole bunch of powerful board clears, and you can build a normal deck with it. Just don't get trapped into trying to do weird stuff with Warlocks. Just take it as it comes. It's not going to be super cohesive. You can make control decks with Warlocks, but they're always a little weird because they're all driven by heals, and you don't have that much heals in this upcoming meta. So you're probably better off just playing some kind of mid-range swing the board kind of Warlock. And those not only just work generally better in these kinds of metas because it's a swing meta, it's going to be a swing meta, but Warlocks are really, 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 really good at it. Especially with Soul Rend, especially with Abyssal Enforcer. No one can play around this stuff, and it'll just swing the board.
Yes.
That's
it. Yes.
So we are now on to our final. We're going to do Warriors next, and that will end everything. So we will see you in the next video then.
All right. Let's do it.